Hello, hello, I'm live. My name's Sraddhagita and welcome to this yoga class from the Buddhist Center. Welcome if you're on the home retreat just now. Welcome if you've been joining in with these classes since we started them, however many weeks ago. And welcome too if you haven't tuned in before, if you're new to a class. So yeah, really warm welcome from me. And you've still got a few minutes to grab your mats and cushions, maybe things you might need. And if you can, if you've got a garden and you'd like to be outside, then please do that. Please feel free if you can still access the internet out there. So yeah, it's quite nice to practice outside, particularly in this lovely weather. So I'm imagining there's a few of you already in the room or waiting to come in. Maybe I've got Tara here doing the tech, so thanks to her. How many people are here already, Tara?
I've got 28 people watching now.
28 people, wow, the class has filled up already. Usually in this room we can have 24 people, so we've already gone over that number. That's great. Yeah, really nice to have so many people here. And do put a note in the chat box if you'd like to, letting us know where you're tuning in from, maybe whether you've tuned in before, that kind of thing. That's always helpful. So today I'm going to be focusing a little bit on mindfulness. Mindful yoga. So I'll say a bit more about that when we start the class, but just so you know, that's the broad theme of the class. So any little chats in the chat box yet? Anyone saying hello?
We've got Chloe from the Isle of Wight.
Chloe from the Isle of Wight. Hello, Chloe. Welcome to you.
John is practicing in Bethnal Green.
John is practicing in Bethnal Green. Welcome, John. Nice to see you.
Jakob is in Bow.
Jakob in Bow, great.
Got Ariane upstairs.
Ariane upstairs, that's great, Ariane. Ariane lives in a community above the centre, so or next to the centre, so she's practicing very close by.
Dee is in Kentish Town.
Dee in Kentish Town, so we're moving to North London.
Harvey and Amber.
Harvey and Amber, welcome.
Jasenka from Barnet.
Jasenka from Barnet, hello, welcome.
I am Viviane, who's in the Isle of Bute.
Isle of Bute, great. Wow, so we've got people living on the Isle of Bute, Isle of Wight, and also closer to home. Great.
Lucy's in Hackney.
Lucy in Hackney, a bit closer. Hello, Lucy.
And Jennifer's in a shady spot in her garden in East London.
Shady spot in East London garden. Sounds lovely. Yeah, that sounds really nice.
And Hazel is practicing in West London and says, hi to my mum, Paula, in Portsmouth. We're practicing together.
Oh, that's lovely. So Hazel and her mum, Paula, are practicing together. Hazel's in West London, Paula's in Portsmouth. Great. Yeah, you can still practice together, even if you're not in the same room, of course. Yeah.
Christopher is in Hampton in Middlesex.
Christopher, hello, Christopher from Hampton in Middlesex. Nice to see you as well.
Anna says hi.
Hi, Anna. Anna's in South London. Anna's another yoga teacher here at the centre. So she was teaching on Monday. She's probably in her garden. Okay, well, it looks like it's now 12 o'clock. So we're going to start. Often at these classes, we have a few sort of latecomers that slip in, so do feel free to slip in a bit late. My name's Sraddhagita, and I'm really glad to be here today. And I hope those of you that are on the home retreat are really enjoying that and benefiting from that. And if you're not on the home retreat, welcome as well. We've been running these classes for quite some weeks now. So yeah, we've got some followers and we've still got new people joining us each time we do the practices. So that's really great. We are really building a community through these online classes. So I'm just going to say a little bit, just a little quote about mindfulness, because today we're going to be focusing on mindful yoga. And this is a quote that I really like from Sangharakshita, what he says about mindfulness. So mindfulness is an intelligent, responsive awareness to ever-changing conditions. So I really like that. Mindfulness is an intelligent and responsive awareness to ever-changing conditions. So it has both that sense of intelligence and responsiveness. So that's really important. And when we practice yoga, we're definitely in that realm of ever-changing conditions because we're moving the body around and that affects our mind. So I think the qualities that we're looking for as we practice today are, well, we're definitely looking for that sense of alertness and presence, but we're also looking for a sensitivity and responsiveness. So being sensitive to our body. And I'd really encourage you to really sort of be curious as you're practicing today, be interested as you're practicing in this ever-flowing, changing array of conditions that will come and go. Be interested in your breath and just be sort of open to what happens and, really listen to the feedback that your body's giving you. In some of the poses, it might be a bit difficult for you, particularly if you're newer to yoga or you haven't been before. Do listen to the body and just do what you can. If you're a more practiced yogi, some of the poses you might want to take them a bit deeper, and you'll know how to do that. So, you can do that, but definitely taking your body into account so that you're being sensitive to the body as you practice. That's really what mindfulness is about. The yoga that we do here is, we often term it, or we do term it, yoga for meditation. So it's very much yoga for the mind as well as the body. Okay, so we're going to start with a little bit of lying down. So we're going to come onto our backs into what's called constructive rest pose. So have your feet about hip width apart and let your back roll down onto the mat. And if you like, bring the knees together for a moment and just let the knees rest together, feet wide. Maybe bring the hands onto the belly. And we're just going to take a few moments here from whatever we've been doing so that we can arrive a little bit more into our body. Often, the preparation that we do for meditation or yoga is as important as the practice itself. And in a way, sometimes the preparation is half the practice. So do take the time just to tune into the body. And see if you can really feel your feet in connection with your mat. So feel the texture of the mat under your toes, the sole of your foot. And have a sense of your back spreading out. And if you've got the backs of the arms on the ground, or maybe you've got your hands spread out, then see if you can feel that connection with the ground. If you're in your garden, you might feel the grass underneath your feet or your heels. And as best you can, let your body relax into the contact that you have with the ground. So as we're practicing yoga, we want to come from a place of ease and relaxation, a sense of openness. And then we're more likely to be able to be sensitive and responsive to our body and the changing conditions as we practice. And then just be aware of your breath. You can have a sense of the breath coming in and going out. Using that as an anchor for our awareness. You might want to just spend a moment just setting a little intention for yourself to try and stay present as you practice. So being present in the body, aware of the body and its movements, connections with the ground and your breath. And I'm going to be reminding you of that as we practice. And even if your mind wanders off, you can still keep coming back. And that's what the practice is. We have to keep coming back over and over, sensitively, kindly, bringing ourselves back, just like we do in a sitting practice. And if we keep doing that, then the yoga can be like a moving meditation. And then slowly opening your eyes. And we're just going to slowly start to move the knees away from each other. And then we're just going to start to lift the hips and lift the back. So as we do that, we can press the toes and the feet into the ground. So on an inhale, just peel the hips and the back off the ground, pressing the toes into the mat and feeling that connection. And then as we exhale, just letting the back roll back down. Doing a few more of these with our breath. So on the inhale, lifting up. And on the exhale, releasing down. And you don't need to lift that high. You can just lift as low as you want, just coming into a little back bend. And we're also opening the chest a bit. You can have the hands next to you if that's easier, or you can even hold the mat gently if that helps. But keep bringing the weight into pressing the feet down and release. So a few more of these with your own rhythm and breath. And then the next time we breathe in and lift the hips, we're also going to lift the arms above the head. Stretching the hands, opening a little bit more the chest. And then as we exhale, bringing the hips down and bringing the hands down. Again, feeling the ground beneath us. And then inhaling, peeling the hips and the back off the ground, bringing the backs of the hand to the ground, exhaling down. A few more of these, keeping on, trying to be aware of the connections with the ground, and then noticing when those parts of the body that have been connected, like the back, come off the ground a bit. Just have a sense of that, letting the breath flow. A couple more of these. Just warming up the back. Great. And then coming down. And then we're just going to do one where we stay up for a little while. So one way that you might want to do this is, again, hold the sides of the mat, or you can also interlace the fingers behind you, draw the shoulders towards each other and open the chest a little bit. You can tuck the chin towards the chest. As if you can lift up a little bit higher now, really pressing those feet into the earth, feeling the texture of the mat again on your feet, on the sides of your arms, if you're like this. And then slowly release. Great. And then we're going to turn to our side and come up. So just coming up, I'm going to come on to all fours. And again, we're going to come into this sense of connection with the ground. So spreading the fingers, hands spreading out, hands and wrists underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. And you can even tuck your toes like this. This is quite nice if you want to give your feet a stretch, or you can stretch them a different way and bring the tops of the feet down. Up to you, but there's a couple of options there. And then again, feel the connections with the ground. And then as we inhale, we're going to lift the chest, lift the sitting bones, and as we exhale, round. So we're bringing some movement into the spine again, stretching the front body, and then stretching the back body, arching the back and curling inwards. So on the inhale, lift, exhale, round. And then slowly coming back to neutral. So we're going to lift our left leg now. And we want our glutes to switch on in this. So we're not going to lift the leg so high, because otherwise it becomes a different movement. So pointing the toes down, stretch the leg out to about hip that's in level with the hip or a little bit higher. We're just going to hold that there. Feel your glutes switching on. And it's good to switch the glutes on because we're doing a lot of sitting, whether you're on the home retreat meditating or sitting at home. It's easy for the glute muscles not to work very much. So this is a good way of giving them a little bit of a workout. So inhaling back, and then as we exhale, we're going to bring the knee towards the chest. Inhale, stretch that leg back again. Feel the glutes switching on. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, back again, stretching the heel. Exhale, rounding. And then we're going to see if we can add in our right arm as well. So stretching forward with the fingers and feel that diagonal stretch through the belly. And then this time as we exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curling in. Couple more of these and hopefully you're okay with your balance. Exhale, inhale, stretch, switching the glutes on. Exhale. And release on that side. And maybe just take a moment to sway a little bit from side to side. Great. And then we're going to lift the right leg. Same thing. Feel the glutes starting to switch on. Active. And then as we exhale, knee towards the chest, rounding. Inhale, lengthen, lift the chest. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rounding. And then let's bring the left arm in, stretching the fingertips. And again, feeling that diagonal stretch, then elbow to knee on the exhale. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, really lengthening, and exhaling. Last one, inhaling and exhaling. Great, and then back to a neutral spine. And again, just move a little bit here. And then tuck your toes, and we're going to come into a dog pose. So tucking the toes, drawing the hips back and lifting. And coming onto our hands and feet. So feeling the feet in connection with the mat and the hands, fingers spread, drawing forward and down. And just start to move the feet a little bit, pedaling out the legs. You'll feel that in the back of the hamstrings, maybe all the way up the leg even. So just straightening and bending each leg, coming up onto your toes for a moment, really lengthening through the back, lifting the sitting bones, and then coming more onto the balls of the feet, and then maybe bringing the heels towards the ground. But keep lifting through the sitting bones. And if you're newer to yoga and you're feeling you need a little break, then just come down for a moment in the child's pose. But if you can stay for a couple more breaths, then just staying here. And then if you're in child's pose, coming back up. And then we're going to drop the knees and then lower the chest forward and come down, bringing the hands out wide with spider fingers. We're just going to lift up into cobra. So pressing the pubic bone, tops of the feet, belly down, and lift the chest. And then release. And then lift. So feel the connection now, the fingertips on the ground, tops of the feet, front of the legs, belly, and then release. And as you release, feel your forehead touching the ground, feel that connection. And keep breathing. Just notice if you're holding the breath, and if you are, let the breath blow through you to support the practice. And then hands next to the chest again, back onto all fours and back into the downward dog. And again, breathing here. And then we're going to come into a flowing movement. So we're going to bring the knees down as we did before, and then lower the chest forward, scoop through and up into this low cobra. Forehead down, come back onto all fours, slide the hands along the mat, really feeling that connection all the way to the back of the mat, and then lift the hips. And you can keep the chin tucked in if you want to, or bring the head back if that's okay. And then again, doing this flowing movement, so let the hands slide along the mat. Bring the chest forward, lowering ourselves down, scooping through and up. So moving with these flowing movements, and you might go a bit faster than me, or if you're newer to yoga, you might go a bit slower, and that's okay. It doesn't matter how many of these you do, but try and get absorbed in the movements, the simple movements, and see if you can keep a connection with your breath as you do this little flowing sequence. So keep coming back to the connection of the hands on the mat, and then the chest coming forward in space, lifting up, rolling down, forehead touches the ground, and then the hands sliding back to the back of the mat. Lift the hips and look behind if that's okay on the neck. Couple more of these, flowing forward. So just letting yourself get absorbed in these simple movements. And if you wander off, just notice you've wandered off. That's okay. That is what the mind does. But try and just come back again to the body, back to your hands on the ground, your feet in connection with the ground. This sense of moving through space, and connect with the shapes that you're making with the body as you flow forward on your mat and you flow backwards on your mat. And if you're in the garden, you might also notice the sound outside of birds, traffic, people, If you're inside, you might also notice sounds there. So just let that be also in your awareness. Couple more of these. Once you get going with this, I find I don't want to stop. I just get quite absorbed in this simple movement. And it's a really nice little stretch for the body. And it keeps nice and low in the body. So it's not deep back bends, but it's still good bend for the back. Last one, coming up. And then sitting on our heels for a moment, bringing the hands onto the thighs and just feel the body. Feel the effects of those postures. Connect with your breath. Are you still able to connect with the body and the breath? Can you feel the weight of the buttocks on the heels? And then we're going to slowly stand up and come to the front of our mat. So coming to the front of the mat, and we're going to do a few sun salutations with a low lunge. So if you haven't done sun salutations before, then just go slowly and just see how you get on. You don't have to do as many as us if that's too much. And if you're used to sun salutations, you might want to go a bit faster. Feel free to do that too. Okay, so we're gonna, on the inhale, lift the arms, exhale, folding, swan diving down, inhale, looking forward, exhale, we're gonna step the right knee down and just lift the chest forward and then tuck that back toe and bring the left foot back into a plank. Now, some of you might want to come through knees, chest and chin as we've been doing, or now you might want to come into chaturanga, but I'm going to do knees, chest and chin first. Coming into cobra, lifting up, back into downward dog, and then stepping forward with the right foot, lift the chest, and then step the left foot forward, lift the chest, and then fold in. And then press the earth away and circle the arms all the way up, hands to the heart, other side. Inhaling, exhaling, step the left knee back, bring the knee to the ground, lift the chest forward, hands down, step back into a plank, either knees, chest and chin, or straight as a stick coming down, lifting up. Back up and then step the left foot forward, down, lift the chest in this low lunge, and then step the right foot forward. Lift the chest, fold in, and then circle the arms all the way up and hands to the heart. So we're going to do that again, and we're going to bring a bit of heat into the body, so we're going to go a bit faster. But as I said, go slowly if you need. Okay, so inhaling, lifting up, exhaling, folding. Inhale, lift, exhale, step the right knee back, lift the chest, hands down, step back into a plank, come forward, up dog or cobra, back into downward dog, step the right foot forward and lift the chest. And then step the left foot forward, lift the chest, fold, and circle all the way up. Lifting up, coming down, inhale up, step the left back, knee to the ground, fingertips, lift the chest, hands flat, step the right foot back into a plank, either knees, chest and chin, or lowering ourselves down, scooping up. Back into downward dog, and then left foot steps forward, right comes down. Lift the chest, and then step the right foot forward. Lengthen, fold in, press the earth away, and bring the hands to the heart. Well done. So we're going to do that again, but with a little twist. Okay, so on the inhale, lift up. exhale, fold down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, step the right leg back. Bring the right hand down to the ground and lift the left arm. Wonderful. Then bring the hand down, step back into a plank. Forward, scoop through and up. And then back into downward dog. Right leg steps forward, left knee down. Left hand stays down as we twist to the right, lifting that arm. And then bring the hand down and step left foot forward. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, circling the arms all the way up. Hands to the heart. Going to do that on the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, step left knee back this time. And left hand comes down, circle. Stretch the right arm, twist towards the right. Hand comes down, plank. Lowering ourselves down on knees, chest and chin. And then back into the downward dog. And then left steps forward, right knee comes down. Lift the left hand, look towards the left. Left hand comes down and step right foot back up. Lengthen, exhale, fold in. And then inhaling, circling all the way up and bringing the hands to the heart. Well done. So I'm going to let you do either the low lunge or you can also do a high lunge now. So we're going to do one cycle with the high lunge. But if the high lunge feels too much, then just do the low lunge. Okay, so inhaling, stretch up. Exhaling, coming down. Inhale, lengthen. Keeping the awareness still in the feet. Right leg steps back into a high lunge. Lift the chest. And then hands down, step back into a plank. And then again, either knees, chest and chin, scooping through and up. Or you can come straight as a stick into chaturanga. And then right leg steps forward into a high lunge. Lift the chest forward. And then step that left foot forward and release. And then circling the hands all the way up to the heart. We'll do that on the other side. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and step the left foot back into a high lunge. Come onto the fingertips. Chest forward, hands flat on the ground. Step back into a plank, lowering the chest. Coming up into an up dog, down dog, and then step the left foot forward into a high lunge. Come onto the fingertips. Chest moves forward, and then bring that right foot to join the left. Fold in, and then circling the arms all the way up and bringing the hands to the heart. And just take a moment to feel the breath in the body. Feel any heat in the body. Heat from the sun. Heat from those movements. Feel the aliveness in the body. And feel the ground beneath you. And take a few breaths, letting the breath settle and calm. And just notice how the body feels. And then we're going to turn towards you now. So we're going to come into a pose called Utkatasana, and it's called a chair pose. So we're going to have a go at that. So it involves bending the knees and drawing the buttocks back and down. So it's quite a strong pose for the legs and also the core. So if you're newer to yoga, you might want to stay up a bit higher. If you can go a bit deeper and still draw your hips back, then do. And then lifting the arms, you could just lift the arms to here if you're newer. If you've been doing yoga for longer and you're happy bringing the hands and arms up higher, then please do that. That's fine as well. And we're going to try and pulse up and down, so with our glutes. So we're going to use the glutes again, those muscles that can get a bit weak. So pulsing down, drawing the buttocks down, and then see if we can pulse up a little bit. Down, up, down. Yep, great. Probably getting a bit of feedback from the body now. This might be too much. If it is too much, just come up a bit straighter and just go down a little bit less. So just play with that again. One of the great things about yoga is you can also be just playful and curious and interested in your experience. And then we're going to stay for 2 breaths. Great, well done. And then slowly bringing the arms forward, still bending the knees, and just letting ourselves release, a bit like a waterfall. You could hold your elbows. That's quite nice to do. And just let the back and the head really release down. Soften the knees. And you can bend the knees as much as you want to in this pose. And if you are a bit stiff, that really helps. So do that. If that's too much, you can also just rest the arms on the thighs like I'm doing now. That can be quite nice. And again, connect with your feet on the ground. Feel the toes. Feel your connection with the earth. And then we're going to slowly roll up from there. So just letting the arms be heavy, the head be heavy. And then it's like we're slowly coming up. Again, feel connection with the ground. Let the body slowly start to move upwards. And as we do that, all the bones, the spine, start to stack on each other, the vertebra. One teacher I really likens that to like a pearl necklace, just stacking each bead one on another, which is really lovely, I think. So if that image helps, just have a sense of your spine like a pearl necklace, each bone stacking one on top of another. And then from here, we'll take a little side stretch. So lifting the arms, little fingers pointing towards the front, if that's okay. And then see if you can take hold of your right wrist with your left hand. And then really press into the earth so that you grow a bit taller. It's like you're growing your torso, you're growing your spine, growing your body. And then we're going to lengthen over a little bit towards the left. So our right hip will move outwards a little bit, and that's okay. We're getting a nice stretch down that right side. And that's also really good for our torso and our breathing apparatus, creating a bit more space there. And then back to center. Lengthen again, and then swap sides. So this time take the left wrist with the right hand and back, this time towards the right. Great, well done. And then back to center. Again, lengthening and then bringing the hands down. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to move down to some seated poses now. So we're going to come down through Garland Pose or Malasana, which involves us turning our feet out a little bit. For some people, it'll be really hard to do this, and that might well be because of restriction in the body, but it might also just be bone structure. So if you think you might need something for your heels, we're basically going to come down to a sort of squatting position. So do have something under the heels if you need it. Then we're just going to turn the knees out a little bit, bring the bottom towards the ground. And if you can, bring your arms in front of you and bring the the sides of the upper arm, sort of in front of the inner knee really, or connected with the inner knee. You can bring the hands together, that can be quite good. And then again, really connect with the ground, connect with your feet on the ground. And see if you can lift the chest a little bit. We'll just be here for 2 more breaths. Great. And then slowly release. And then we're going to come into something called cow face legs. So you might need something to sit on. So if your back easily lengthens out of the hips, you might not need anything to sit on. But if your back sort of tends to round a little bit when you're sitting like this, then sit up on a block or a cushion or that folded blanket, that would be fine. And you can either have your bottom leg lengthened like this. I'm going to show you the other way first. So we're going to bring the left leg underneath and the right knee on top of the left, sort of squeezing the legs together. But this might be too much. So if it is, then just lengthen that bottom leg out and bring the right leg to the side like this. And this is fine as well. You're still going to get a stretch in the hips. So that's what we're looking for, a stretch there. So again, we're sort of squeezing the legs together. And we might want to bring our fingertips down on either side of our feet. And again, sitting, letting the sitting bones sort of draw energy upwards and also lengthen. So imagine you've got something lengthening through the crown of the head here, a little thread maybe. And this might be enough of a stretch for you. You might be really feeling this now. So if you are, just staying where you are. But if you want to take it a bit deeper, you can walk the fingers forward a little bit. So just listen to the body and what feedback is your body giving you now? Maybe you've come to a little edge where your body's saying that's enough now. Or maybe it's really hard to breathe right now. And if it is, just back off a little bit. And yeah, don't go into such a deep stretch. But you might be able to, over time and working with the breath, slowly keep walking the fingers forward. You might be able to then bring your chest towards that top knee, chin onto the knee, whatever. But keep that length in the body. Keep that length in the back. And again, just take a few breaths here, wherever you are. And feeling where you're in connection with the ground. And notice if you're still interested and curious about your experience. And if you're not, that's fine, but just see if you can. Is there anything you could get curious about? Is there anything you could get interested in this pose? One more breath, and then we're going to walk the hands back and release the legs. Great, stretch them forward for a moment. And then we're going to come into this on the other side. So bring the right foot around the side of your block. Sorry, other way around. I just did that one. So you want the right under now and the left on top, or if you need to, you can bring that right leg out in front of you. You'll still get a stretch across the hips. So again, sitting up nice and tall to begin with, feeling that length in the body. And then if that's enough, just staying there. And if you need or want to go a bit deeper, your body's okay with that, then walking the fingertips forward, coming more deeply into the stretch. And you'll feel that opening in the pelvic floor, opening through the hips. Two more breaths here. And then slowly walking the hands back. Well done, great. And then releasing the legs. And just for a moment, widening the legs. Flexing the feet. And just notice how both hips feel now. And there might be a difference because our hips aren't completely the same. Sometimes through sitting in one particular way, we open one hip more than the other, or we favor one hip when we sit and meditate. So it's always a good idea to swap over when you meditate, but just notice if they feel roughly even. It might be that one isn't, and that's fine. Again, you're just noticing. And then if you want to, either sitting up nice and tall, or you can slowly walk forward a little bit here. But try and keep that lengthening spine from the hips. So you want that length through the spine so you don't collapse in the back. And keep breathing, feeling the connection with the back of the legs, the heels with the ground, hands on the ground, sitting bones. And feel the air on your skin wherever you are, in the garden or inside. Again, notice all the sounds around you. And let all that flow through you. And then slowly walk, hands back, draw the knees together. And we're going to come back down onto our back for the last minute or two into a little bit of relaxation. So as you come into Shavasana, maybe just check where your legs are, make them as wide as the mat, and let the toes fall out a little bit if you can. And then you can roll down. And we'll just be here for a short time. Bring the hands maybe onto the belly, or if you prefer, next to you. And again, just notice all the points of contact that you have with the ground. And the breath blowing through the landscape of your body. So feeling the life energy of the breath and how it blows through the body. And it might be that that is like a gentle breeze, or it might feel like a stronger wind. However it is fine. Just notice it. We're not trying to change the breath. Just notice it as it is. And then if you have got time, please feel free to stay in Shavasana for a bit longer. But if you do need to stick with the 45-minute slot, then you might want to start to gently move the fingers and toes again. Perhaps taking a little stretch behind you, even a yawn, stretching from side to side. And then you might bring the feet onto the ground and roll over to your side. And just push yourself up from there. And we'll just finish in a seated position. So you could sit on your cushions. So just take a last moment this time, either sitting or lying down. And just give yourself time to absorb the practice. And maybe also take a moment to just reflect on anything you noticed or learned. And then slowly opening your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the practice as much as I did. And it was really lovely to think of you all out there practicing different places. Some of you on the home retreat, some of you, not on that, but, maybe at home working, those kind of things. So yeah, it's really great to practice together. And we're offering these classes very much, to you. And this week, they're very much part of the home retreat, which you can still join actually. So if you're interested in joining that, then, do take a look at the links and you'll be able to find a link to that. It's still possible to join. It's about halfway through, but you could catch up. Do join in with that if you want to. We really appreciate any donations that you can give us, because it helps us just keep these classes available to everybody. So if you are able to do that, there's a link in the box, and we'd be really grateful for that. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.